Moon Knight episode number 5. Let's just say that they didn't have a lot to, like, after 4.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's like not hard to really wow anyone.
No,
at this point,
that
right?
was a rough jam. The 4, except for that last little piece, right? Which they continued on with this episode for sure.
And we did get a little bit more of that asylum type still, right? But
a little bit more.
What an emotional episode.
It was the whole show was the asylum. Wasn't a little bit more.
No, it wasn't the whole show.
I mean,
it
was
literally in a friggin' desert.
Well, yeah, they were on a boat in a desert.
Oh yeah, the whole show. Can you fit a boat in an asylum?
The asylum was in the boat,
and,
though.
And sand zombies.
You could fit an asylum.
No,
in
you
a
can't
boat.
fit sand zombies. What? What was that?
The cat is pissed that we ignored him.
Oh my goodness, we ignored the cat, and now it's just fuming,
yowling.
So come on over. I'm sorry.
So cats were like well revered in Egypt. So that's.
Did you change this?
No. What's the matter?
It's all of a sudden not as good as it was at first.
What doesn't just magically change in your mouth?
It was better.
Okay.
You were saying?
I don't know what I was saying. You can fit an asylum in a boat, is what I was saying.
No,
but anyway,
can you fit a boat in an asylum?
No, you can't. But they went out a door and they were on the deck of the boat.
Yeah, well, this is not your average asylum, though, is it?
No, it's an asylum in a boat.
In a mind.
On the sand. Is it kind of in the mind at the same time as it's not?
Whoa.
Yeah. So as compared to last episode, I was bored to tears until that last piece. This one, those psychological pieces and the depth that they went into Mark's story and where Steven came from and everything else had me riveted through the show.
Okay, so in the comic books, the reason that he becomes psychologically unstable is because he witnesses a pretty brutal murder. Okay. The way it happens in the comic books, they could never write that into a Disney show.
That's fair.
Right? This is much more... It's hard to say much more appropriate because...
It was still pretty savage.
It was savage.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the fact that he literally created another persona to
protect him.
Yeah, to protect himself.
Yeah. And that, I mean, like it's fairly accurate in how DID.
That's what they're saying.
That's
too.
what they do, right? So
yeah,
I thought that was pretty.
It's going to be a
pretty
deep
accurate.
episode. Dude.
It was a deep episode. There's so much emotion.
Well,
in that whole.
The whole reason, like obviously, if you've watched the show, you know that they have to go into their own memories to figure shit out, right?
Yeah. To balance the scales.
And so we find out that Tiamat or whatever.
Tauret?
Yeah, Tiamat is actually a kaiju.
A kaiju?
I think.
Tiamat.
Yeah, it's the multiple head dragon.
Isn't that in Final Fantasy?
Is that Tiamat? Maybe I'm getting
a Tiamat in there. Well, but they took other things because Bahamut and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I do believe it's Tiamat. But anyway, the friendly hippopotamus.
Yeah, Tauret.
All right. Is essentially their guide.
Yeah.
Through the sands of.
The awful.
It's
not
awful
good.
Sands.
Not
you
good
don't
sands.
want to visit this beach, folks.
No.
Like it's not a pleasant place.
There's zombies in there.
Sand zombies.
Yeah.
The worst kind.
How are you supposed to kill a sand zombie?
You don't. You saw that. So they're good. They have to travel through to the the field of
Wheat. I don't know.
the field of wheat. To be fair, to be fair,
To be fair.
To be fair.
Yeah. To be fair, the field of wheat is like this.
he was standing in a field of wheat
Yeah, we
at
stand
the end.
Reeds,
It's supposed to be reeds.
field of reeds,
Field of reeds.
or something, right? It
Okay.
was so I mean wheat, reeds. It's close. It was close, but that's like the afterlife, the good afterlife.
Yeah.
The bad afterlife is you get sucked into the sands and turned into a sand zombie.
Yeah.
And that's not,
Again, the
Yeah.
worst kind
yeah, the worst kind of zombie.
of zombie. I lost my train of thought.
Did you?
Yeah.
So they're trying to balance the scales, and initially the scales are way off. Like they just keep shifting. And
Yep.
I thought it was interesting because she pulled out both their hearts, and I thought that she would weigh them individually,
But she
but
weighed
she
them
put them
as
both
as a group.
as a single. So I thought that was kind of neat.
I'm just wondering if there's more at that point. If there's like more personas in there.
Which, I mean, they
What-
hinted at.
What is she gonna do? Just pull out a briefcase of hearts?
That would have been interesting.
Hey,
Hey, welcome back.
welcome back.
Don't ignore them.
Don't get pissy.
So yeah, they flow back inside after the hearts starting to get weighed, and Tourette explains that they need to balance the scales.
Yeah.
Another
Another thing about being unbalanced. When you find out that they gone onto a boat, it's kind of cool how in the last episode, when he was running through the hallway,
Mhm.
everything was rocking back and forth, and
yeah.
the lights were
Shifted.
swaying as if they were on a ship.
Yeah.
Right, and then she
Yeah.
comes in through the door.
And says,
Hey,
"Hi."
I'm a hippo.
Well, she didn't say that. And then
Well, that's how
also,
I-
by the way, I thought it was funny that they started this episode off with, or not started it, but right in the beginning there, they went back to the scream, and Tourette also screamed
Yeah,
during the scream, which made me laugh. I enjoyed that.
yeah. A pleasant moment
Yeah, it was
for me.
It was fun.
You'll know that he part of the reason he's all psychologically messed up is that he accidentally was involved in his brother dying.
Yeah.
Um,
And that would mess anybody up, obviously, right? I like that it dug into the trauma, created good depth. to the
Yes.
main character. Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
amazing. I thought they did it amazingly.
Yeah.
I like that when they were children, they played heavy on that movie that they were watching.
Yep.
Which plays into a lot of why Steven is who he is.
Yeah.
That persona was created heavily by that movie, the posters, and the
Stephen
toys
Grant.
that they had.
Yeah.
Right?
Main character Stephen Grant.
Part of the reason that they even went into that cave because they were playing
Tomb.
Tomb something.
Not coming to me.
Tomb. I want to say Raider.
Tomb Blasters.
Tomb
Blasters?
Busters.
Buster?
Tomb. Yeah.
Anyway,
So
Tomb Buster.
yeah, they got deep,
It did.
and then the mother
Psychologically breaks.
blames him.
Yeah.
Gets
And-
abusive even.
Very. To the
Yeah.
point where he had to create Steven to protect himself. to
And
go
because
From her.
from her.
Steven was created to have a life where he didn't have to know this. Mark doesn't want him to know this. He doesn't want him to find this stuff out.
No. He wants him to just have that happy
Yeah.
childhood that he
So
that he had.
he's trying to prevent or Steven from finding out.
Mhm.
Obviously, he's even willing to off the hippo.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? Let's just off the hippo, steal
Nobody's
this boat.
gonna know about
Nobody's
it.
gonna know.
Nobody's gonna know.
Just steal a boat. Nobody's gonna know.
Nobody's gonna know.
How would they know?
And to the point where Steven tries to get up to that room that he's not supposed to be in.
Right.
Goes up the stairs and only finds himself at the same level.
Yeah.
Where he finds out how much more like abusive the relationship between his mother is and Mark. Heavily drinking and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Mark steps into the wake, or I'm not sure what they call it. It's a Jewish.
Yeah, I don't know what they call it. I think they
not
mentioned,
to be disrespectful.
I think they
anything, but
mentioned it.
They did mention it, but I'm not.
But I can't remember.
I can't
what it was
remember.
either.
So I'll refer to it as some sort of like a
Like
wake
a
or
wake,
funeral
yeah.
type deal.
For his mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he breaks again as he walks down the streets.
Yeah.
Is that the end for Steven? Thoughts? So I would love to get to that.
I want to get to that, but I don't want to jump to it
No.
quite yet. If you don't mind, let's just get to the point where he does reach that room.
Yeah, and he finally gets to see what kind of a monster his mom was, and he doesn't have those memories.
Yeah, and how he was created.
Yeah,
and technically doesn't exist.
Right.
You know,
because he thought he was
big shock.
He thought he was the original, and that Mark was the extra. But those memories.
So this is where I might get into a little bit of a theory. I don't know if it's time yet, but I do have a theory.
Okay.
And it involves Jake.
Jake Tully?
It involves Jake, the cab driver.
Oh, right, yeah. What's Jake's last name?
I can't remember his last name.
Jacobs?
Okay. He's the violent one.
He is violent? Or just in the show?
He was a boxer.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if that means you're violent.
Well.
But
theory time.
Here's my theory.
Here it is.
Oh,
you ready?
I appreciate you pointing out that it's theory time. I wish we had a little bit of a thing. Theory time.
Yeah.
You know.
Can we get a
Jake
Lockley?
Jake Lockley.
Yeah. Can we get a theory time soundbite or a something at some point?
So
not right now.
Here's a theory that I read and agree with and we'll kind of expand on. That Jake is already there.
Yeah.
One persona, Mark, who gets the yelling.
Yep.
Steven, who is not supposed to know anything about it.
Right.
And then Jake, the one who takes the beatings. Explaining why he's so violent in life.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. And something that might confirm that he might already be there is that point in time that I mentioned in the office where there's clearly a third character with a busted nose. Who talks differently.
I caught that too.
Who does not seem to be aware of some of the things that have previously gone on.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And I mean, we had that. Was it episode? What episode was it? 3 or 2? Was it 2 where the random stabbing happened and neither one of them knew who did it because it wasn't either of them? And then
it must have. It might have been the third episode,
and maybe it was the third.
Yeah.
And then in episode 4, again, we had that extra sarcophagus that they just ignored and didn't know about.
Well, this character seems to be kind of unaware of what's going on, and then tries to get stabby with the ornament.
Yeah.
Right. I have a feeling that that's Jake, and they don't really let you know. But I think and then in the next scene, his nose is fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe
I think
orderly's beating him down.
I think that he's the one that takes the beatings. You know?
Yep, that would make sense.
So that Mark doesn't have to.
The only thing that
Steven doesn't know anything about it.
Throws me off about the whole jam with Jake is that there were only 2 hearts on that plate.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're right.
Mhm.
Like, and I understand, like, I mean, they've been pointing at least a third personality throughout the show, but I don't understand how the scales could balance with only 2
Mhm.
if there's that third.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's something that we'll have to watch and see. Now, obviously, this is just theory time,
I think, yeah,
but
theory time.
I need it to. I need to know why that one part had a broken nose and no
Yes.
other part did.
Yeah, because that was strange. I think we might see Jake this coming episode. They're running out of time to incorporate that personality. Yeah, that's fair.
I think so too, but I think what they're going to be doing is teasing him for a season 2,
They could, yeah.
right? I think that you're going to get probably a reveal, a major reveal in an end credit of the last episode,
Hmm.
right?
We're in the final portion of
Yeah.
that episode 8, I think, is what
I
it's
don't
gonna
know
go
how
to.
many episodes this is.
But yeah, for sure.
It's 6 or 8.
What can't be 6? Can't tie up that many loose ends in one
More
more
episode.
I can't.
We must be getting a couple more
You
episodes.
have to. There's so much left to go on. Unless they're just gonna jam the whole last episode with like everything.
Yeah.
And that would be too much, I think, for one more.
6.
6?
Yeah, that's what I
What the-
thought.
6.
I don't know how they're going to tie everything up in one more episode.
Yeah.
So feel free to leave that in the comments on how you think the
'Cause here's
coming
the
week's
thing.
episode is going to
Here's
tie
the thing is
everything up.
If Jake is the one who busts out of there, I think he's the one who is most likely to free Khonshu quickly.
Mhm.
Because he's obviously willing to get down to business.
Yeah,
You
he's
know?
just going to shank a mofo. Super weird, indeed.
But by the end of this, we see Mark in the field of Reeves.
Of what?
The field of Reeves.
Like Christopher? Field of Reeves.
And so is he nearly out himself?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on there? Right? So obviously,
Isn't it Reeds? Yes, Tyler, it is
Yeah.
Reeds.
I'm an idiot, Tyler. Or Spangity. Sorry.
Oh.
I don't know if he wants us using his real. Now people are
Sorry.
going to be knocking down his door.
They're going to know where he is.
They're going to know.
So back to back to the piece about Steven being gone or not.
Okay, well, before we go to that,
What do you want now?
I want to just point out how he stepped up a little.
He
on the
really
boat.
did.
Okay.
Well, that's what I was going to get to. We can talk about that whole battle scene
Okay.
right there.
So we'll talk about the battle scene.
Yeah.
And then that will lead to him obviously falling off the boat.
Well, you ruined it.
Right? Well, yeah, because everybody who's watching this have already seen the show. All right, you don't just go ahead and go, "Hey, I'm gonna watch this nerdy show about a show that I haven't seen yet."
Oh, also, before we get into that end battle scene, at one point when they step out on the boat, we see soul after soul plummeting through in purple
Yeah.
fire.
Okay, so I explained this to the producer.
Now I need a whole different shirt.
He has a lisp.
She mentions it that things have gone awry.
Yeah, there's
that
something
the
bad
souls
going
are
down.
now falling. What do you take on that?
My guess is it's free
That's my guess too.
because it was purple, like his purple cane thing when it was
Yeah.
glowing and the purple magic.
So
and
all
stuff.
these souls are
and
now
that was
falling.
what made Tourette come onto their side too, because she was like, okay, like we got to do something. So she was taking them to the only gate out that she knows, which is Osiris.
Yeah, she had turned the boat around
Yeah.
essentially,
Cranked it.
right? And that means to me that Ahmet has been freed.
That shit hit the fan.
Yeah. A lot of crap has going up top. Okay.
Mhm.
First off, confirmed underworld.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just like we thought.
Yeah.
But above, poop's hitting the fan.
Mm-hmm. It's 9:06.
All right? That doesn't mean I have to be an
Well,
idiot.
I'm letting you know you don't have to say poop.
Tell me it's not a fun word. And anyway, people are being judged before
Harshly.
Oh yeah. And they are being judged maybe unfairly even
Could be.
for things they've never done.
Well, they might do. Or I mean, they're going to do.
I don't know.
I mean, what are the chances that they're not going to do
Alright.
it?
They're minority. She's definitely going all Minority Report on her, on people, right? I'm real popular. So people are now being sent into the underworld
All willy-nilly.
before
Right
their
into
time,
the sands even.
causing a lot of havoc. They're going to get turned into sand zombies.
Do they even get a chance to get on the boat? No.
No, they didn't get a fair trial.
No. They're just getting fired right into the zombie sand.
Right? So Mark is getting so some of these souls have made their way onto the boat.
So what I noticed about those souls too is that those are the ones that were in that cafeteria.
Oh, yeah, that's a good thing to mention actually. Part of the memories that they had to stumble upon is Mark's mercenary career.
Yeah.
For Khonshu.
Yeah.
Which had him kill a lot of people. They were all dirtbags.
Yeah. All bad people already
Right.
done bad things.
Yeah.
Because that's Khonshu's jam.
They had obviously disturbed people's travels.
Is he vengeance?
He's Khonshu's vengeance.
I'm vengeance.
Oh no! Don't start! Don't start!
I'm not gonna get off topic. I'll ask you after.
Yeah.
I'm trying
So
real hard to stay on topic.
big thing, including, and that's when you find out that the little boy
Is
in
his
that
brother.
memory
Yeah,
is his
yeah,
brother, right? Because
Yeah.
he's like, oh, I hope
That's
you're
what
not,
led to the whole
I hope
brother.
you're not killing the kids and stuff, the little peoples.
And he didn't technically.
No.
But he felt responsible for the
Of course he did.
as one does.
So some of these souls are coming back to haunt him.
Mhm.
They've come up onto the boat, uninvited, may I
Yeah.
add. The sand zombies,
Yes.
they come up,
Somehow.
they get on board.
Right.
They've got a little bit of a vendetta.
Well, and at that point, Tourette just left him there. She said, "This you were too late."
Yeah.
Scales.
The scowls aren't balanced.
Scales didn't get balanced up there.
Because
so-
everybody thought that once they had resolved their little thing and everything was confessed,
Yeah.
that that maybe the scales would balance because everything was out in the open.
Was that the case?
No, it wasn't the case.
Mm-mm.
Scales are still unbalanced, right?
Right.
Because sometimes to get those scales balanced, you need to lose yourself.
In the music, the moment.
You want it. You better never let it go. You've only got one shot.
Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes
Once in a lifetime. Yo. Mom spaghetti.
You're editing this one.
So yeah, Sans on
Copyright claim.
We just wrote that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I've
What
never
you're
heard that
talking
before.
about.
Yeah, they've gotten on the boat. They've got a vendetta to pay back for the things that Mark had done, like killing them.
And Mark's still trying to protect Steven, so tells him to hide and
Yep.
get out of the way.
Does Steven hide?
He does initially,
And then what?
and then Mark gets into trouble.
And then he goes, you know what? If
Mm-mm.
I'm a fictional character in your mind, if I'm you, then you're me.
Yeah.
and or vice versa.
So I can do these things.
I can do what I can do. Never mind.
Do it.
I can.
I can do it. I can do it.
Don't. That's what Steven said. Actually, he came out from behind the
I can
thing
do
and said, "Don't,
Anything you can do better,
I can do anything
better than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I
No,
can.
you can't. So yeah, Steven pops out and Mark had beat down a few of the zombies, including one wielding a bat.
Yeah,
And Mark
a sand bat.
a sand bat, picks up the sand. Well, it must have been a more real bat than the
It
sand.
wasn't a sand bat. It was
No.
a Louisville Slugger.
Mm-hmm. Which is the brand.
It's a Jose Canseco bat. Please tell me you didn't pay money for that. If you can tell me where that's from, you won't win anything, but you'll be the coolest person.
Sandlot?
No,
So he picks up the bat.
you want to say it so
So
bad.
he picks up the bat and just starts trashing these sand zombies like a boss, like
Oh,
better
yeah.
than Mark
Yeah, he was
trashing sand zombies.
he was beating ass with that
Yeah.
thing. Like
He was
he was
no
good.
guff.
Sand ass.
to the point where
Sand ass. That's uncomfortable.
that's definitely uncomfortable.
Mhm.
That's an after hours show for sure.
Mm.
This afterwards.
The sand zombies, I feel like we're coining that phrase now.
Yeah. Zombies.
Sand,
With an S?
they're zombies.
Zombies. Zambies?
Zombie. No, don't do it.
Mm.
Don't do it. They've got him pinned down against the side.
Yeah.
And
They're trying to pull him over.
oh yeah, they want him bad.
Mhm.
They want him hard. Okay, so hard.
Speaking of sand ass.
And what does Steven do?
Rescues him.
Yeah, to the point where he falls off the boat.
Why didn't he get pulled over? Like, he rescues him up. Mark kind of gets away from the side of the boat, and he's standing there. And I think one of the Sambies,
Sambies.
the Sambies grab him and kind of give him the old flip.
Yeah.
And he's off
Like
balance because they're like
didn't
celebrating.
Mark get pulled over?
No. Mark got away from the side, and while Steven was standing near the side, the Sambies came up. and grabbed him.
Okay. And then obviously he hits sand and something sad happens.
Yeah.
Right?
He gets up. He's trying to get back to the boat.
Does the reach.
The reach.
And then he says, Mark.
And yeah. Stoned.
And then he got dusted.
Well, he didn't even.
No, he didn't. He just
He
got
just turned into a statue. And I thought he would turn into sand.
and then just kind of crumbled.
Yeah. But
You know,
would that be
I
too
was
reminiscent
yeah.
of like the snap?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's probably why they stayed away from that.
Mhm.
So the question was, Spangy, is
this
Mark
the end
gone?
No, Mark's not gone.
Mark's not gone. That's the answer.
Is this the end for Steven?
Steven, though, is that the end of him? Your thoughts on that?
I'm gonna say no, and here's my theory on that. I wish I was as flexible as Chris. Look at his pretzel legs. Yeah, I don't know.
That's not the first time this has been brought up.
I do yoga.
For somebody who tried to get us back on track.
I don't think it's the end of Steven, and here's why. I feel like because Tauret just straight reached into their chest.
Maria, thank you for
hello.
coming.
Thank you. Reached into their chests and pulled their hearts out.
So you're saying
Theoretically,
their glass hearts.
she could take their double glass hearts and stick them both into a single entity or body.
I don't know if those are like. I think those are like metaphorical hearts.
Well, she thought she might explode their chests.
oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, she wasn't real
She
sure that
was-
was going to work.
She was like a little off her game.
Yeah, she's like, oh,
She's like, I might just
well, that's great. It
put
worked.
it through you. Right?
So, could she theoretically put them both back into a single body
Okay,
before.
my quick thoughts on it is that Steven doesn't fucking exist.
But he does right there. And the reason that the scales balanced were because the scales do balance after Steven is.
So do you
Is
find him
killed.
as like he's cured at that point of his?
Yeah, so does Steven
illness?
exist now in Mark even?
When all Steven has to do is think of him again.
Well,
and
I
exist
can think of being a different personality, but it's not going to necessarily make me a different
I believe
personality.
you have a few.
I may, but that's not here nor there, is it?
Steven can't die because he doesn't exist.
I don't know about that. I think Steven can technically not exist.
He does what?
Who does?
Oh, you do.
I do?
I'm sure she's referring
I
to
do
you
yoga.
having several personalities.
Oh, that's true.
Which confirms quite a lot.
Why did the scales balance post Steven death if Jake is in fact a personality within them? Yeah, I agree with that too. And I kind of touched on that when I was asking about
But does that is that just a case of him not being dormant?
Maybe.
If he's dormant, then what was with the stuff? What was with him stabby?
And maybe Mark, because Mark doesn't even know he exists, the scales balance for Mark.
Yeah, maybe it's just the fact that he's not even aware of it. And that's why.
And he knows that he created Steven and he knows why he created Steven.
Yeah.
So
because as long as Mark is content,
yeah,
wouldn't the scales balance?
Yeah.
Right? I can't see Mark being cured.
No.
Honestly, that
and I would hate to see
messes up the whole plot line of the character.
Yeah. And I would hate to see Steven gone.
Yeah.
Because I enjoy that character.
It's been an integral part of the show and stuff. And I mean he's part of the comic book character.
So I don't think they'll get rid of him.
I don't
think
so
they'll
either.
find some way to have him continue on through.
One of my things is that I was thinking either one of two things. The end, they would do like a post-credit or something where you find out that Steven's back, setting it up for a second season.
Sure.
Or that Jake setting it up for that they would
or both.
Or both even.
Yeah.
You know? So it's hard to say right now.
People to kill off, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, of course. And
he's the smart one. Like,
yeah,
Mark's just an idiot without him.
He's a badass idiot, but but he's an idiot.
Yeah.
So it levels out. He gets to the Field of Reeves. And then it's like he looks at the sky or whatever, and then he's like, he doesn't even seem happy to be there.
But then when he's kind of like getting into it, it looks like he's starting to kind of succumb to the tranquility of the space too. And then
and it's very bright.
Yes.
And then you notice Steven cleans up his pencils and crayons for him. Yeah.
That's right. He was cleaning up.
And it almost seems like he cleans up everything for him.
Yeah. He's the tidier.
Yeah. So it's very bright in the field.
Well, I mean, that's how people picture that afterlife.
Okay. Right? And then when the end credits come, it immediately goes to the same scene, but dark with the crescent moon. Maybe foreshadowing the return of Khonshu and all that stuff, right?
So maybe Layla busts out Khonshu and Khonshu comes and gets
Mark. There's a good point in that. Also, if we go way back, we'll when Hippo Girl
Tourette
is explaining what this place is, she makes a reference to the other planes, like and the spirit world where Black Panther went.
Yeah.
And stuff too, confirming that they're all kind of
interconnected,
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This underworld is a vast thing that kind of appears differently to different people.
Yeah.
So that's a really cool touch, I think, like
It
that,
was good.
that she brought that up and everything, and that it's by far not the only iteration of an underworld,
Mhm.
right?
Which I like. I like that thought just in general.
Yeah. So I thought that was cool, but I guess the big question is now.
Is Tauret going to be slaughtered by Gore, the God Butcher? I think that's my big question because I'll
Ooh.
be sad.
How many of these Egyptian gods get just rocked by Gore the Butcher? You know, Gore the Butcher is a good way of just tidying up some loose ends.
Yeah, with his symbiote.
His symbiote sword.
Well, it covers him in armor and stuff. Gives him extra
Um,
strength, flight. It's kind of a symbiote. It's just a fancy symbiote. The Marvel thing even calls it a symbiote.
It's a symbiote sword.
I hate you.
You know,
It's the first symbiote, the all black.
it's the all black. What happens after this? Where does it go? How does Khonshu get rescued so that we can?
I don't know, Daddy.
So that we. Okay, I thought that came from your heart, but it actually came from his.
Yeah.
Okay, which made it less sincere.
I'm sorry.
Okay, where does this show go from here? In one,
This one or Moon Knight?
both. In one last episode, which might be the case for both.
I don't know.
For
Which I
which
mean,
one?
I don't for
Either.
Yeah, for Moon Knight, I don't know how you tie up that much in one more show because there's just it seems like a lot.
I want
lot
to see
to-
more like suited up Moon Knight.
I feel like he just needs to come back fully suited and
Okay,
have
can
a
we-
fully suited episode.
Speaking of suited, okay.
You have got a royal flush.
Yes.
Nice.
The scene where Mark is finally telling the story of what happened
Mhm.
when Layla's father died or whatever. Is
Yeah.
that her name?
Layla.
Wow, I got one right.
Well, because Layla
You got me on my knees,
Layla.
Begging, darling, please.
Yeah, Layla.
He's finally telling the story
Yes.
about how he got his powers.
Yes.
His partner, who betrayed him,
Yep.
shot him as well as the rest of them. Okay. Copyright again. Lock these guys up. And then he crawls into the temple.
Mhm.
He's about to give up.
Yes.
Puts the old gun to the chin.
Yeah.
He's gonna just finish it.
Well, because he's bleeding out.
He is
That's
bleeding
a
out.
long ass way to
It's
go.
probably a better way.
Oh, speaking of bleeding out, go ahead. Let's finish this.
For gosh darn it sakes, let's finish this. And Khonshu says, "Ooh, opportunity,
That's right.
opportunity."
It's not great on Khonshu either, just to fully take advantage of a dude when he's dying.
Yeah. Well, he goes, "You really want to do that, or do you want to be my tool
Yeah.
for vengeance,
Mhm.
so that you can protect the night travelers?" And then he essentially gives him the powers.
Yep.
You know, before he even says yes, Khonshu's already there
Yeah.
bestowing the power on him. Like you see an image of his hand with the staff beside the statue before he even says yes, and then he's like, "Rise, rise!"
my Moon Knight.
be my Moon Knight. And then the costume for the first time wraps around Mark. And he now is bestowed upon by the power of the moon.
Yeah.
Good
God.
scene.
It
Good
was a
scene.
good
I like
scene.
that scene.
I did too. I like the wraps, the mummy wraps.
Yeah.
I like it.
And then obviously Steven kind of understands a bit more about what's going on and stuff like that.
Yeah, Steven gets a lot of insights in this episode.
Oh yeah. Finds out he's not real.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
he's
a big
not real
insight.
boy.
You're not a real boy.
But are any of us really real? Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, aside from that, we're going to have to wait and see what happens. Don't touch me.
Just checking
All
to
right.
see if you're real, man.
Um,
We are gonna have to wait, and I don't want to. I want it now.
yeah. Well, you can't always have everything that you want when you want it.
Hmm.
All
You
right?
can't always get what you want.
You can't. It can't rain all the time.
Mm-mm.
Those are like way too many references. Again, where did they come from?
Mm-hmm.
Let us know.
It's a cool. It's cool that realization helped him learn to fight. Yes, I did like that, knowing they were one and the same.
Yeah, just he could fight because he knew he could fight.
Yeah.
He's like orcs in 40K.
Yeah. Or
They
like
can
Neo.
They can do things just because they believe they can.
Or Neo.
That's deep nerd.
Mm-hmm.